Hey, it's Rob at EMPI. You ever wondered where dune buggy heaven is? Well, guess what? We found it. It's in Valley Center, California. It's called JK Classic Buggies. Strap in, this is gonna be a good one. Hey John, good morning, how are you?
Doing great, thanks. Nice to see you. It's actually been a couple months.
It has. We've missed your face. So, is this a home for wayward dune buggies? What is this?
You could call it a rescue, so to speak.
Okay.
We bring in just about any condition dune buggy, or we'll start from scratch and build a complete new one. So as you do the tour, you'll see we have old cars that really need some work.
Yep.
Some that are halfway done, some that are 90% finished, and others that were just barn finds that we preserve. That's something I really like to strive for, is the preservation. We're in the same town that Bruce Meyers was residing in, and his wife still lives here.
Oh, wow.
So we have a lot of connection with the Meyers side, and we learned the beauty of enjoying a buggy from their perspective.
I'm always impressed when a person like you, basically a solo entrepreneur, says, you know what I want to do is, I want to get dune buggies back on the road. And then with that connection and that knowledge of Bruce and Winnie, you're bringing a whole nother perspective to the mix that a lot of people, they just will never experience themselves.
Yeah, I feel fortunate. We got to meet Bruce and Winnie. We spent a lot of time with them. A lot of involvement with the Manx Club, which is open to all fiberglass buggies, not just Meyers Manx. And then we started doing some off-road racing through NORRA. I was also involved with, I spent some time with the new Meyers Manx down in Costa Mesa and did some work with them. Joined EMPI briefly and realized that commuting is kind of tough on you physically, and just the stars aligned, and it was time to take a leap of faith and start a home-based business.
Well, again, that's
so here we are.
I'm always impressed when somebody takes their Volkswagen love and appreciation, and then I think literally the fire pole, so you slide out of your bed and you're down here in the workshop, right? Is that how it works?
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah. Start at 7 a.m. and work till at least 5 every day.
So hey, let's start with this purple machine. Give us the rundown. What are you doing here?
So this was a sort of restoration preservation. So it was an original Manx, what we call Manx 1. So it is a tagged Manx.
Okay.
Original color was fuchsia. The owner had it repainted out in Arizona. And we've done all the chassis work and basically getting it to where it's going to provide somebody another 50 years of fun and satisfaction.
And then you're putting the electric motor in this, right?
I don't mess with EV.
Wait, let's say that again. What was that, John? What?
I don't mess with EV.
Because we love carburetors. So they come to the website, they see what you have to offer. It's a complete salad bar of dune buggy, right? Everything you want or need.
Yes.
You have the full EMPI line of parts that you sell as well.
That is correct. We're trying to become a well-known EMPI dealer. By doing so, we want to take our experience of owning our own cars, testing our own cars, abusing our own cars, and then taking those parts and saying, look, this is what works. We've tested it. We've proved it. We have a car that's completed 1,000 miles down in NORRA earlier this year. It actually drove from this garage down to Cabo and back, 2,300 miles in 10 days. And then we just finished the NORRA 500 in the Pioneer class in that same car, and we broke nothing. And there's a lot of EMPI parts on that car. So we are testing, improving the parts. We know the fitment, we know the years, the variances, and we just want to be able to help people in the hobby get what they need the first time.
Well, you know, we both love getting Volkswagens back on the road, so whether your Volkswagen is a bus or a Beetle or a Ghia or a dune buggy, clearly jkclassicbuggies.com would be a good place for you to get started. This looks like a lot of work, so can you give us a backstory here?
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a mess. We're going to start by just looking at the pan house. You can see.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We've got some issues of separation. They used plumber's tape and tried to bolt it underneath. That's obviously not an effective repair.
Ouch.
This is going to be a little bit unique, as the client really just wants us to make this a safe, reliable car for their son.
Okay.
So that's what we're going to do. We'll reinforce what we can. We have all new tie rods, ball joints. We'll put new shocks on it. We got Bilsteins, but those things are probably about 35 years old. We'll update that. I actually have a set of fresh axles sitting on the shelf,
Great.
EMPI axles that'll go in here. The transmission is out right now getting rebuilt, so it's going to have a new engine, new transmission, but it's going to still look old and original. This is the body. It is a Manx 2 body.
Wow.
It's the second one ever produced, and it is not going to get repainted. We're not going to do body work to it. We're going to leave it in its original patinaed, semi-beat up look. And enjoy it for what it is.
That's very cool. So you're really not operating in just one standard. You can rehab, you can rebuild, you can create from new. You could take somebody's buggy that's been off the road or apart for a couple of decades maybe,
Yes.
and you can put it all back together, do it period correct, do it concours level. I'm assuming you're working multiple different budget levels at the same time?
That would be correct. A great example of from one end of the spectrum to the other is this car versus that car. So that's what we call ocean spray. That is a brand new Manx classic body.
Great.
Everything about this is completely redone. So new floor pans, everything was taken apart, every new bit and piece in it, all the way down to the handmade bullet trim on the dash.
Oh, wow.
That I do myself. This is as good as it gets. This would be like your elite level classic build.
So this is all factory fresh, all brand new.
Yes, sir.
So you're really just making custom suits, more or less. I mean, somebody could bring you the fabric and say, yeah, can I get a, double vent, pinstripe? And you say, oh, sure. Did you want cuffs or not cuffs?
Exactly.
So, no, that's spectacular. I think that's always amazing when you're not just running your own business, but you are running it across many different methods. You're not just doing one size fits all. I mean, I know you love Bilstein shocks. I know you love Yokohama tires. I know you've got, I think transaxle engineering is your go-to on boxes. I know you've got an engine builder that you love and adore. So you have all the components, and how they get assembled is really up to you and the customer, what they want, what they're going for. So
Absolutely.
you got a pretty good life, don't you?
I'm not going to complain right now. I'm not going to complain. We're very happy. And then you look at this gold car. The style is different, but this is a barn find car. This is original gel coat, except for the hood. We did have it locally reshot because it had some damage, but this is original gel coat.
Wow.
That's the way
held
they
up pretty
cut the
well.
dash 50 years ago. So that's the original ABS dash. So we wanted to preserve it with the original Lucas switches. Only half of them work, but they're there to fill the holes because it's the look. Newer seats. These are PRPs, but they are the Meyers Manx edition. And when you mention like fabrics and stuff, we've actually got this car being fitted right now with a rear back seat that will match this. So that's down at the upholstery shop right now. I'm waiting for windshield wipers, but I have an EMPI order coming in today that has new wiper arms.
Should have brought it with us.
I thought about that, but it's a big order.
Oh, okay. Lil Blue's kind of the star of the show.
Lil Blue's the ugly duckling, but we love this car because this was our first buggy. We bought this. It was bright red. Everything on it was red. The dash, the exhaust, the seats were oversprayed with red. And we started picking away at it, and we realized it was blue underneath, under the purple and under the white and the red. So we stripped it down. We've decided to leave its patina as is. And it was just our one and only personal car until we found out that these buggies, they multiply if you're not paying attention. But we've enjoyed this car. We've built it up a lot thanks to EMPI this year. This car went through a second remake, or a makeover would probably be a better term, starting January 1st of this year, where we turned it into a NORRA compliant off-road race car. And that's why you see the cage now, the side curtains. Of course, everybody that's been a part of what we do, we can't thank them enough, and I don't want to sound like that plug, but I've got to start with EMPI, Yokohama, Mobile Wagon, PRP, Bilstein. All these guys have helped us out. And this car has done what it's supposed to. If you could get under there, you would see the 2-inch dent underneath that will prove that we don't baby these cars. We hammer them, and they perform. EMPI brakes, EMPI heavy-duty link pin spindles, EMPI shifter. We have a lot of EMPI parts on this car. In fact, I just realized our headlight is still a little crooked from the 500.
It needs a small adjustment.
Yeah.
For somebody that wants to either build something completely fresh or maybe bring something back from the dead, what's the average span of those projects?
You're looking at about 3 to 4 months, depending on the timing of the client's budget and availability of parts. And right now we have about a 2-year waiting list.
Wow.
So if it's something you're considering, you might want to give me a call and get on the list.
Okay. And then if somebody wanted to follow along on Instagram, they would go to
JK Classic Buggies.
Wow.
We've got a little.
Look at that. How easy is that? JK Classic Buggies.
Windshield.
Okay. That's handy. And a QR? Jeez.
Yeah.
It's pretty high tech here.
We're high tech.
Okay. I like it.
This is also one of our personal cars. This is a barn find as well. This was the first car I restored for a client. And then about 4 years later, he said, it's for sale. Are you interested? Since I knew the builder, I said yes. So it's an older restoration. At first, we really pampered this car because it's original, but then we realized, you know what? It's built for a purpose.
Yep.
It's been our loaner car.
Okay.
We've taken it to Baja. We've loaned it to friends. And this actually is one of 2 cars that was recently featured in the Apple TV series High Desert.
Ah, right.
So Patricia Arquette was driving this particular car. I've got a little section of the wrap that's still got her autograph on it. But Apple TV had this for about 5 months. And it's one of those cars you got to use it.
Now you don't see a lot of Toads because you probably know how many they made.
About 750.
750 of them.
Yes, sir.
So this is one of them. This one looks like it gets out and have some fun.
This is one of them. This one's actually kind of special. We bought it about 5 years ago, and people were a little confused whether it was real because of the shape of the dash. Most Toads have a half moon hump where the speedometer goes in, and this had this weird dash. Well, with the help of Craig Bernard, which was Bruce Meyers' grandson, he said he remembered seeing something about this car. So we took a leap of faith, we bought it, only to find out now that we have pictures of it from 1970 being built at the B.F. Meyers factory.
Oh, wow.
So it's a documented factory-built car, which is why you see so much chrome.
Yep.
Whatever picture we had of it, we tried to make sure we replicated it. All the original gauges, switches were still intact. And we just made sure we got everything re-chromed. It's the original color, original gel coat on it.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean it doesn't get used. This car, before restoration, has been taken to Baja. We're talking about her car.
Oh, her car.
Let me back up. This car was going to be my next second project until we loaded it on the trailer. I hadn't even given the guy cash yet, and I see her sitting in it, just on hard fiberglass, and she said, "What'd you say?"
I said, "This fits me pretty well."
Yeah, and she goes, "Just so you know, it's mine." And it has been ever since.
Okay.
But you want to talk about your car and where it's been?
Well, it's been to Baja numerous times, Ocotillo Wells. Once we had it chrome, though, John wasn't going to let me drive it out in the dirt. And I said, that's not true. So we took it out, I think the end of October. And I had a blast in it. It was great. It runs great. It's a fun little car. It's more like a go-kart. So it fits my personality, and I love it.
Yeah. We were very fortunate. We have kind of a mutual friend that helped us out with all the chrome work on it. So it's got chrome from one of the best guys in the business, and I'll leave it at that.
Beautiful. All right. Well, more importantly, dune buggies don't need to sit in museums. Dune buggies are for fun. So I think I'm really gathering what I want to do is go drive the EMPI Manx right now. But if you've got a dune buggy project and you're not sure how to get it back on the road, I think we just found your dune buggy source at JK Classic Buggies. You should look them up. You should follow them on Instagram. And be careful if Sonya sits in your car because she might take it.